Sup, people? How are we doing tonight? First and foremost, I have a new audio interface. So let me know if you hear me, let me know if you hear the music, let me know if the music is too loud, all the good things. So as always in the beginning, we're gonna run an update, and then once it finishes, well, actually we don't need to wait. We can go to our thingy, which has how many days have we done? 13 days. Wow. So today's gonna be day 13. All right. So the update almost finished. There you go. Okay, let's open it. So I believe we had a really good stream on Friday, and we pretty much have assembled the entire application. We just have like a bunch of to-dos left here and there. We just wanted it to at least compile, right? So we got our main, and there was something like in Redis that forced us to have this logger over here. Not a big fan of that, but whatever, not a big deal. And we go to program make, which we will be able to do once Metals probably wakes up. Still indexing. Come on, there we go. All right. So this is like this whole madness that we created on Friday, because I just wanted like to make it at least compile. And so today we're gonna start with like cleaning this whole thing up. I'm not sure if you guys remember from the very beginning, I sort of like insisted on creating these two that check like the Redis connection and the Postgres connection in the beginning. Gabriel sort of like hard-coded them, and in the beginning I wanted to have it like as a type class, or at least as a dependency, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, probably it's unnecessary. So we're gonna start super slow because I'm tired. My plan for today is just to clean this up. We'll see how fast it goes. Maybe we're not even going to do anything new today. We're just gonna like chill and clean it up a little bit. Mostly like this whole thing. And maybe I won't even stream for 2 hours today because the weekend was crazy. Like this video that just went out took a lot of time. I had a lot of help from my editor, but I still needed to finish a lot, so I spent like the majority of my Saturday finishing it, and then there was not much time left on a Sunday. So yeah. Anyway, let's get right to this. So we're loading this environment in the very beginning, and then Redis config, right, based on the environment. The same thing for Postgres, right? So this is just like the config, give us the config. Okay, and then we're actually creating Redis, and then we're actually creating Postgres. And like the first thing that I'm noticing is that I should not have called it like this. I just want to have it like as Postgres session. Let's see if the whole thing compiles, because Metals is not perfect at renaming things. There we go. Okay, and it actually renamed the file as well. Great. So, okay. So, loading the config for both of them, and then actually instantiating both of them. And, and then we started doing, well, okay, now let's get the config for the server, and then let's instantiate the server. So this is like sort of like a pattern, and we want to bring this together. Okay, so I want to have like a Redis thing that, loads the config, and then pretty much does, Redis session make. Same thing for Postgres, you know, because like if you look at this, like Redis config, like how many times is this used here? Well, once, right? Like same thing about like, you know, the Postgres config. How many times is it used here? Well, once. This thing as well. This thing should be used twice though, right? But yeah, Gabriel used it twice. We don't have this other component that is going to use it again, right? But it was used twice. Like if you remember, somewhere over here, yeah, it was once for Redis and once for the payment stuff, and we don't have the payment stuff yet. So yeah, if you join in just now, like again, like let me know if you hear me well, if the music is still loud, because I have a new audio interface. So I don't know. Where were we? Program. Okay, so this is where we're gonna spend like the majority of our time today. Okay, so at the place where we have this like Redis config loader, let's just go there real quick. Okay, which is this thing. It's right here, right? And so we're also gonna have a thing called let's call it the Redis session loader, I guess. Or maybe we will even have this as a private dev. No, we're not gonna have this as a private dev. You know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna have is over here, we're gonna have like load config. And we're gonna rename this file to, well, we're just gonna rename this component to Redis session loader. Okay. And so now it's not just gonna have load config, it's also gonna have this thing. Right. Which is pretty much gonna have like well, load, I guess, right? Load. Okay. Like that, and it's gonna give us the, what was the type of this thing? I guess it was a Postgres session, right? It was a session pull, okay, from Skunk. Okay, so session pull, and for this we need to import Skunk, and so it's just gonna go like this. Okay, and okay, and so now it's going to require the Postgres config, right? Which is I'm sorry, what the hell am I doing? Why did I grab Postgres? And why are you guys quiet? It's not gonna, no. As I already mentioned, I'm super tired. We're getting Redis, right? So Redis is here. Okay, so we need like this line. And this thing gives us, well, that thing, I guess. Like that. Okay, like that. Okay, and so in order to make this work, well, we'll need the config, right? The config is going to be the redis.config. Well, here's the thing, like, we should probably put the environment here. Yeah, like we should put the environment here. And then we're gonna do, you know, load config, flat map, well, load config was the app environment, right? Okay, and now we have the app environment. So if we just go like load config, load config, okay, so just like this, and now we have a config. Now we're gonna do like another flat map, and now we have the config, and now we're gonna put this thing in there. Okay, and now like we just need to fix the types because like this thing is a resource, and there's no way in hell that this thing compiles. Like something is wrong. Something is wrong. Because like we're inside of some app and then we're doing flat map, and we should not be able to even do flat map, right? Because we like nowhere do we say that we need a flat map on this app. And also like we're inside of an app, and then over here we're producing a resource, so the result should have been like app of a resource, but over here we're saying that we need to return a resource. So there's something like very, very wrong right now. Metals is lying to me. Liar. Liar, liar. Pants on fire. Well, actually, we haven't been doing it like this, right? We've been doing it like this. Come on. All right, so I'm just gonna clean everything, and I want main compile. Oh man, thank you. How long have you been watching? Not this stream, I mean like in general. Like when did you find me? I'm glad it's useful, because it does take a lot of time and effort. It's a perfect time to chat, by the way, because we're just waiting for compilation, and we can't do any sword fights. So yeah, so as you can see, obviously it doesn't compile. So first we need to fix metals. Let's just exit bloop. Okay, so what do we have? We have SBT, and that's it. All right, so we're just gonna go like this. And we're gonna start it again. Perfect beats to just chill on a very long Monday. Yeah, how many of you guys are here? Couple? Great. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button so that more people stumble on this. It's also time for me to check my phone, which is something that I always do when I compile stuff. A year ago. Wow. Oh, as a data engineer. This is interesting because I'm not a data engineer. Like I don't know much about Spark and all of these things. So are you doing Scala at work, or are you doing Python? All right, there we go. There we go. All right. So first of all, resources and cats effect. Yeah. I don't know why metal suggests like cats effect kernel. And also I don't know why cats and cats effect, why they overload this stuff. So there you go. Redis commands is in, yes. Okay, so what? No, what? No, hold on. Like this. Not found value. Okay, why are we here? Hold on. What the hell? Stop jumping. There you go. So both blah and blah match expected type applicative of f. Hold on. This is probably like the wrong error anyway. Because nowhere in here are we seeing that we even need the applicative, because we do, you know. Okay, and now as you can see, it says, well, we need flat map, so applicative and flat map, that's mounted. Okay. And now it says a confined instance of applicative. What? Maybe this is ADA expansion stuff, so environment, load config environment. Okay, found config required environment. What? Oh, what am I doing? Oh, why did you guys not tell me? Like, okay, like this whole thing is bullshit. All right, so exactly, so it says we have an F of something, but we need a resource. So I believe we need there's probably something like, I believe there's like a val map or something. Okay. Okay, hold on. This is a resource, right? Okay. Eval map. Okay. So give it a function from A to B and gives a resource. That's not what I wanted. I want something that gives me an F. I don't want to call use. I don't even know if that's possible. It should be possible. Well, actually, hold on. Maybe we don't even need this, right? We can just go map, and then this whole thing will just produce an F of a resource. And it needs like monolith throw. And it needs make Redis from God knows where. Could not find what. Check Redis connection. Yeah, so this is like I mean, we'll grab it and stuff, right? What do you need? Logger, okay. Oh, deal Lord. Which one did you say? Org type level log for cats. Org type level log for cats. There you go. Happy? All right. So, we have this thing. Like, are we happy with it? This is a good question. Yeah, no worries, man. Good night. Thanks for showing up. Could like, before you go, if you still hear what I'm saying, like, could you answer this question that, what's his name? Evil Turbofull asks, like is the stream buffering for everybody, or is it just him? Because I don't know. So I'm not dropping any frames. I'm not lagging. Like there's no rendering lag, there's no encoding lag. It's all good. I have a 100 Mbit upload, and I'm streaming with like 6 Mbit, so it should be fine. So probably it's you. Maybe just like a reload the tab and stuff. Yeah. I wanted to try. I constantly like cannot decide whether I should try it. So we're streaming at like ultra low latency, which is something that you don't see again. Sorry. So we're streaming at like ultra low latency, and I read somewhere that people might have issues, like issues that you're describing. You know, like if you're, I don't know, if your bandwidth is not fast enough or something like this, right? Like if your internet is not fast enough. But honestly, like YouTube never streams like Twitch, right? Like you can never stream like exactly my source, so it's always compressed. So I don't know, like one day we'll try low latency instead of ultra low latency. So this means that our latency is going to get like a little bit higher than right now, which is technically worse, but it will give us stability. So we'll try this one day. Okay. So let's get back to this nonsense. So now we have like this Redis session loader, and we can just go load and give it the app environment. Okay. So let's try this, right? So instead of like the config loader, we're gonna say the session loader, and we're just gonna say load, and we give it the environment, and now we give the Redis over here, right? Which means that we don't need this thing, and we don't need one of the curly braces, and we also don't need this Redis connection thing. Okay. Okay, almost, right? Because now Redis is a resource, right? And yeah, let's go back a little bit. So it would sort of be like this, right? It will sort of be like this, right? So let's call it Redis resource for now. It's Hungarian notation, but whatever, Redis resource. So this didn't get us any closer to what I wanted. So we need to somehow, like probably like this thing. There's probably like one of the combinators that I'm missing. Yeah, the chat is a little, yeah, like we should get like stable like 10 or maybe like 12 seconds delay. That's like apparently that's what YouTube does. Okay, so like this is what Gabriel is doing, right? So he's calling like make, right? Which gives it like a resource, and then he goes like eval map, and eval map says, okay, like give me a resource to IO, and I'm gonna give you the resource of okay, so it's basically a map. An effect will turn to the like a resource, like a flat map on an effect while maintaining the resource context. Okay, so this is basically a flat map that I was looking for. Okay, and how is he putting the resources together? Just probably was a map and, right? It's a resource of app resources. Okay, so it's just like this and that. Okay. So like in the end, he's just going, yeah, par map and, okay. Okay, so and why is he doing that? Okay, because what is the supervisor thing? All right, cool. Yeah, it happens. One is like a full of fibers that are studied by its interface, or is managed by a singular fiber to which the life cycles of all spawn fibers are bound, whereas background links the life cycle of the spawn fiber is the calling fiber, sorry, fiber wire. Scope must survive the spawner. Still be confined within some larger scope. Okay, so this is basically the way I understand it is that it's just to like kill the daemon threads. So it's not the solution to the problem that I'm currently having. Okay, so probably like this thing also gives a resource, right? No, it doesn't. It gives an IO. Oh, hold on, but we're doing... Actually, there's this thing. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go like this. No. Like this. Yeah. So metals apparently can just like show the type of this. Version type is IO. So eval map, I thought, oh, it wants like I give you the resource, you give me okay. So you want to stay as a resource. Okay, so the thing, okay, I get it. So he wants like to stay in the resource context like all of this time, and then in the end, he wants to just say like use forever. Okay. Doesn't really change much for us though, does it? Right, so basically over here he would go, well, we don't need this thing, right? So over here, right, he would go like eval map. And then in the end, over here, right, he would do like use forever. That wide. Not a member of F of nothing. Yes, it is. Totally is. Use forever gives you what? F of nothing. Oh. Okay, you cannot produce a value even if it's a unit of nothing. So how does he do this again? Oh, so it's wrapped in a supervisor. And that like throws it out. Okay. So I think we're doing this somewhere already. Yeah, like over here, right? Yeah, I don't know if it's better or not. I guess if you go like this, then it makes sense to put them in a case class like Gabriel did, right? Because otherwise, I'm gonna keep nesting these like eval maps. Or I would do some like partoupled and stuff. Yeah, maybe like this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna stay with this, right? Was this design? Like maybe we will even throw this thing out because it's ugly now. Let's for now at least do this, because if we do that, then we can do this and we can just do that, right? Why is ETA expansion broken for this stuff? Is it because I just need to give it a type? Great. Just trying to like minimize this ugliness here. Used to be able to do this. Was the underscore? I think. Doesn't matter. Check connection. All right. Okay, so let's commit this thing. As promised, today is a super slow stream. We can kill this thing. We can kill that thing. Maybe we should change the music. So this is gonna be like day 14. Okay. Let's change the music because I think otherwise I'm never gonna get wake up. Actually, hold on a sec. All right. So, let's go with EDM. Yeah, let's go with that. Hey, man. Good, I don't know, morning, evening? How are you doing? I have to give it to you, man. You're like the most excited person about these streams. Was it not? Hold on. Okay, so this one should be a config. But we're also gonna have a load, which is gonna go do that for us. And so it's gonna be like a pretty similar thing, right? So this is going to be Postgres. And this is going to be Postgres session.make. Like that. Okay. Okay, so we're going again with like logger and stuff. was this one, I think, right? What else? This one doesn't need anything, actually. Hold up. What? I feel like, hold up. I feel like something is wrong. Where's the chat? Test. Yeah, go ahead. Like today we're just chilling, so today's more like a Q&A, so ask whatever you want. I'm getting the chat a little bit out of sync. Hold up. I'm trying to run Vim in my ID and find it very inconvenient. What is the usual thing in code editors now? The automatic closing of brackets quotes. With insert mode, navigate past the edit character. Disable if you try to see how you deal with it, but you're too fast. Yeah, I had this thing as well, and I disabled. Okay, this music is too aggro. Hold up. So, in the beginning, I ignored it. Let me actually fix this compilation error real quick, and then I can show it to you. Okay, so it wants like the console. Like gets fact stuff. Just like that, like that. All right, and now metals will help me out. And there we go. Yeah, so it's the same thing, right? So over here we have like an, we're getting like a. Right here, hold up. So over here we're getting like an f of a resource, and over here we're getting an f of a session pool, but a session pool is just a type alias for a resource. Of a resource, but whatever. Okay, so I didn't forget your question. But give me a sec. Okay, so I did rename it over here already. Flat map. So this is not Postgres a resource, and so this is going to be Postgres resource, and for now it's going to compile, but over here we're going to have a to do change to eval map. Okay, so this music is too crazy. Let's go with my favorite album, which is Indie Pop. All right. So, in the beginning, I ignored it, right? And then I was like, yeah, I don't like it. So here's the thing, like it's a general problem, right? It's not a Vim problem. It's not an IntelliJ problem. It's a general like IDE problem. Like the IDEs or editors today, they try to predict stuff, right? But like what I noticed is that there are two scenarios, and in one of them I want the closing brace, and in the other scenario I don't want the closing brace. And unfortunately, like at least in VS Code, I did not find a way to configure it like this because there's like only one setting. So like when I'm typing stuff, right? So let's say that I want another function, right? Make, and I want to like open the, like this is the GitHub Copilot, right? And so I want to open the rectangular bracket, right? And in this case, I don't want it, well, actually, in this case, I might want it to close it for me, okay? So this is a perfect example where I would want it to close it for me, but it doesn't because I disabled it, okay? All right, so I can keep typing, and then I can close it, okay? However, in the situation like over here, right? So remember, like we didn't have this thing, right? And so at least in Scala 2, it was like this, right? And then the compiler says, okay, well, we need that thing. And so I need to go here, right? And I need to go here. And when I'm gonna open the curly brace, I don't want it to close the curly brace. And this is exactly what's happening, right? So I'm opening it, going back to the normal mode, you know, going down and inserting it, which is like this, right? So in this case, the fact that I disable it is good because this is exactly what I want. But when I write new things, it would actually be kind of cool if it did it for me. So I haven't found a way to cover both of my scenarios. This chat is being weird. Oh, it doesn't have enough space. Okay. All right. So does this make sense? I'm gonna. Okay. So and if you wanted to like change these like use things to eval map, right? Now we have like eval map inside of eval map. Okay. So what we're gonna do instead is similar to what Gabriel did, you know, to have like a case class and like put them all together. So I'm just gonna do, well, first of all, we don't need this thing, right? And let's also have it in, okay, in the comment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have like Redis resource and then the Postgres resource, and then we have like parttupled, okay, and then we're gonna have eval map, right? So it's very similar to, it's pretty much exactly the same as what Gabriel was doing. Okay, and so now over here we have a tuple, and now we're gonna have like a case, and we're gonna have Redis here and Postgres here. Okay, and so now we don't need like this thing, we don't need that. Okay, and in the end, so we're probably missing like one or like two of them, something like this, maybe too much. Maybe one here. Like I messed it up somehow. Like usually I don't do changes like this, but this time I was like lazy and then these things happen. So this is the flat map. This is the case thing. So this is at the end of eval map. Okay, so this thing needs to be here. Like that. All right, so eval map closes here. Wait, hold up. Yeah, that's correct. And eval map wants to have, yeah. So this is the closing of the flat map. This is the eval map. So producing an F. And then on that thing we're saying use. So we're producing another F. So we're here. And then this one, and then this one. Oh, we have like one too much. There you go. Yeah, like first of all, I'm not a Vim expert myself. Otherwise, I would actually be using Vim. And otherwise, I would create like a Vim tutorial. Maybe there is a magic trick. I don't know. Okay, so this thing is getting like slightly prettier, right? So this is essentially like this tuple is now our case class, and we're going like this, right? It was like a parttupled, which is what Gabriel did like pretty much here, right? So this app resources make, it assembles a case class, and it does it by doing like well, parmap and into the case class, right? Which is essentially partupled, and then you have a tuple and then like a case class, which he didn't use a case class for some reason, but you know, whatever. Right, and then like one big eval map. There's a bunch of stuff in there, and then one other flat map. Okay, so yeah, so this other flat map is because of this, right? So let's commit this thing. By the way, I don't really mind like having this structure, right? Like this app resources make, like we'll probably end up doing this. Well, actually, we're not gonna like the thing like why I mind it is that like he has like this global notion of a config, right? And then like all the resources can just take like that part that they need. I don't want that, right? But still, like one of the things that I want is, you know, I want to get this like parmap and back, right? Because like over here, like these two, they don't have anything to do with each other. So it's basically like this whole like make thing as we just did. So essentially, what I want is that like this thing and like that thing, that they're together, right? So that I don't even see like the resource like that, right? So now they're like together, and now I don't have like these ones, and I can just say well, it's still partuple, right? Again, we need to remove a couple of braces, maybe two, not too much. Is not a member of f of. Okay. So I want to have like a par eval map. All right, so this is gonna be a flat map, and this is gonna be our tuple, right? So it's gonna be like tuple dot like this, and so we just need to close it. Eval map is not a member of resource, of a tuple of resource. I just want to like zip them. Okay, so do I need to do this again? Like, this is weird. Okay, so these guys, they give me a resource. So after partupled, I still have an f of a tuple, right? And then I go flat map, and inside of it I have a tuple, and so I do another partupled. I want some sort of like nested partupled. I'm doing something weird, right? Because that's what he did over here, right? So like this thing. Oh, this thing gave him an already a resource, not an F of a resource. How did he get rid of the F? Hold on. Exactly, right? So these things, my things give the Fs. How did he get rid of the F? So he went like this, right? Which is blah blah blah, and just gives. Why did we end up having was the F? Because of the config. Right. Okay. So he already had the config, and that's why. Okay, we cannot undress this thing. That totally makes sense. Okay, so we need to stay with this weird thing. Okay, commit this thing and rewrite this to a focal point. Okay, so this is gonna be a 4. And like this line is going to be here. Okay, so like this. So we have the environment. Now I want to have this, which is a tuple of resources. Actually, I think Gabriel called it like app resources. So let's call it like app resources. By the way, again, like it's relatively unnecessary to do this. I'm just, I want to learn something for myself, and I have always encouraged you guys to just play around with code. It takes forever, but it's kind of fun because you kind of like don't have any pressure of like delivering anything, right? And we're not at work, so we can just like juggle things and like see what we can learn. Maybe there's some trick somewhere, some hidden method on some library or some stuff. Anyway, so we have the resources, and now we need to do another flat map. So I really want some sort of like flatten or something. Like the problem is that I cannot do nested partoupled. So this is like the flat map, okay? Which means like this is like still a tuple. And I go and I do this thing in there. Was the tuple. So like this is like the something else. And I have a bunch of code over here. Right, and the code that I have over here is, well, pretty much that, right? Which is basically like taking the resources apart. Okay, and now that I have them, I can grab this thing, like that, and just like throw it in there. Where's my val map though? I mean, well, it's partupled, right? Like this is the combinator that we need. It's just that we need it twice, right? Because like once we call it like on the f of resource, and then we call it on the resource. Well, so once we have like in the beginning we have like a tuple of two f's of resource, and then inside of it we have a tuple of two resources, and on both of them we're going like partupled. Right, like this thing is a tuple of two resources, and that thing is a tuple of two f's. Right, and so we're basically converting like a tuple of two resources into a resource of a tuple. Actually, maybe there's like a traverse thing. Yeah, I think there's like a something like a so we're gonna come back to that in a bit. So at this point we have an f of a tuple of two resources. Hold on. It's already a tuple. So load is an f of resource. This load is also an f of resource. Session pool is just an alias for a resource. And then we call it, and then we have an f of a tuple of two resources. The tuple is inside of the f. And then we go flat map. And so this is our tuple. It's a tuple of two resources. And we call partuple, and then we have a resource of a tuple. Like this thing over here is a little bit confusing because inside of the session pool is another resource. I really don't think that that we can weasel ourselves out of this unless we just go, use. Like we're not actually like solving some problem. We're just finding like, because we don't have a problem, right? We're just finding like, we're just playing around to find like the most ergonomic way to do this. Like for example over here, like this is our tuple, right? So this is like this this underscore over here. So if we go again like partupled, and we go eval map, right? So then we have this thing. Okay. And we're in the for comprehension, so we need to yield something. So let's comment this out for now. Okay. Yeah, so this makes sense, right? Because now, like in the end of the whole purpose of this thing was that, like in the end of the comprehension, we go and do this use thing over here. Or maybe here. This is gonna be our thingy, and then we'll go and do like thingy dot use, right? Like that thing. where do we need to use? Hold up. So we need to use after val map, right? So we need to use actually one curly here, here, here. Like this is where we need to use, right? Like that. Okay. Was there wrong curly again? Was it here? Yeah. Okay. So this is already like slightly better. So we can throw this thing out. So it's a little bit better, okay? Why does it do that? Like, why does it want to jump there? Like, I prefer that if it does that, then... Come on. All right. Okay, so now we don't need this. For now, let's just go in this. This thing doesn't want to fit in there either. Okay, so now I want to get rid of that thing, of that use. And this was that, this other flat map. Also, I'm thinking that like we're having this flat map over here, like we should avoid having flat maps inside of a full comprehension, but it's not like exactly inside, it's like deeper inside, right? It's like inside of here. Okay, the first thing that we should do, well, I'll have to commit. Like this is like a third thing, right? Like we're loading the config for the server, and then we're creating the server. It's just that this time, in order to create the server, this would be like too much stuff to do. So I wouldn't want to go and do HTTP server loader or something. Okay, let's do this thing first over here. Like, let's get rid of this use. Like, like the goal for now is I want to have like only one use. So we're gonna do the same thing, right? So basically, after this eval map, like first we're gonna have another flat map over here, right? Okay, and inside over here, we're going to do that. Okay, so what we need here is, well, basically these two things, right? Okay, and therefore we need to we'll need to return them over here instead of doing that thing. Okay. So this is already better. So like at the end of the day, eval map still gives us a resource. And when we flat map, we're still inside of a resource. So we need to go and like use, right? In fact, at this point, we might be able to do this use forever thing. How are they called? It was called use forever, right? Yeah. So I don't think that we're going to be able to use this use forever thing until we create this session. Maybe we should do this now. Let's just grab this thing. It wants what? Well, it's a use, so it wants plot file. I just wonder whether we can like give it the whole full comprehension. I think we can, right? Should be able to just go like this. Found FF unit required. Okay, so this is it. Okay. It's never used. Okay, this is actually a good question. Where is this SP used? Oh, by the way, guys, did you see that? Like I jumped to like the usage and it says it's over there. Which means if I do this trick, I'm going to see here. Nice. Okay. So it's gonna go like this. Or not. Okay, so this is like a supervisor. I wonder what it needs. Just needs like concurrent and stuff. Yeah, whatever. So this thing should allow us to do use forever. Why does it even want a map? Hold up, so this thing. Like there's no other way to get an F out of the resource, right? Like I feel like right now the only reason why I cannot use forever is because I'm inside of a full comprehension, even though we have the better magnetic 4, which should not require a map. By the way, like these ones we can actually start closing. So over here, just like function to something, and then he just goes and blah 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 and does like use forever. I don't get it why we can't do this. So the error message is like value map is not a member of nothing. I mean, we can't go with an equal sign, right? Because that's going to be semantically wrong, isn't it? Right, so this is f of unit. So like basically this thing is not gonna run. I don't get it. It could be because we're inside of a full comprehension. Let's move it down. So we can create some space over here, right? And move the supervisor inside. And then go like this. And now we should be able to do this. This is so weird. Like, this is a flat map, right? Inside of the flat map, we're going like use, and inside of it, we're going use forever. Same thing here. It's a flat map. Inside of it, we're going like use, and inside of it, we're going like use forever. It's really because we're using the for comprehension. Also, like he's using IO, I'm using like maybe there is there's concurrent, but we for sure have concurrent somewhere, right? In the async. Do you think that it's because we don't have concurrent and the compiler is just not smart enough to tell us that this is what's up? It is so weird. You guys even hear, am I talking to myself? I might be talking to myself. YouTube is not known to be able to show this stable in a stable fashion. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this back to what it was before, like before the full comprehension, just to see if this is like a bug or something. So let's commit this thing. Oh, by the way, that thing like this. Okay, so let's commit this. So it's basically this. Flat map. App environment. Arrow to the right. That thing. That thing. And that whole thing. All right. So it compiles, and then let's see, like, use forever. Okay. Found f of nothing. Required f of a unit. Where do we say that we want an f of a unit? So over here, right? I really don't get it. So use gives me an f of unit, right? Use forever gives me an f of nothing. Oh, it needs a stupid spawn. I didn't see that. Really? Come on, it can't be that. Oh man. So we don't even need the spawn now. So this means I should have just widened it. Interesting. Okay. So this was a stupid error. Still, like, inside of the hook comprehension, it doesn't like us. It is so weird. Like, where? Is Scala better than Golang? There's no programming language out there that is better than the other one. This is like one of the things that you learn with experience. It really depends, you know, like if you want like the professional answer, then it depends like on the problem that you have. But if you just like, you know, learning, better for learning, Scala definitely 100%. Because you will just learn more about you know, it's just gonna make you a better programmer. Like Scala is just gonna make you a better programmer. Like, so in terms of learning, Scala is definitely better. Uh, I'm I have not written even a single line of Go, but like from what I'm hearing, like the type system is just horrible, and so you're just going to learn a lot of how's it called, bad habits and stuff, you know. So if it's for learning, you will definitely learn way more when you if you learn a language like Scala, which is like very very deep, and it's very very profound, rooted in a bunch of theoretical foundations. Uh, yeah, but again, like professionally, like if you have a project, then you can never say, okay, one language is better than the other. Um, is Go even statically typed? Where's the docs? Um, Getting started with okay, so if it has generics, it must be statically typed. Okay, it's statically typed. Yeah, so from what I'm hearing is that like the type system is not, it's not great. Okay, you have union types. If you have union types, it means that you must have some sort of pattern matching. Okay, so you have mutability. It's probably not even functional then. How does it solve concurrency stuff then? It claims to be like a concurrent language. Okay, you have type inference. Yeah, anyway. Oh, Golang has it's a recent thing, so it's not worse than Java 1.5 now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go has coroutine. Like, here's the thing. Like I started programming when I went to the university, which was in 2008. And so I finished in 2013, and since then I've been like a professional developer, right? And I have never like sat down and I was like, today I'm gonna learn coroutines. I really want to understand them, you know. Never had this desire or the need or anything like this. So you're gonna be totally fine if you like. You should know what they are. You know, you should be able to have a conversation or something. You know, but apart from that, from what I have seen, it's statically typed language with syntax loosely derived from that of C, with extra things like a garbage collection, type safety, and some dynamic. So you have dynamic typing and type safety. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, we're not here to bash on Go, especially because I don't know shit about Go. We are here to fight the type system that we're talking about. Like, what the hell? Like, I made this thing work in a way that I wanted to work. And by the way, like a couple of streams ago, like somebody asked me, like, why don't you use for comprehension? So here's the perfect example. Like, it doesn't freaking work. Like, because I don't fucking know what it sugars to. I promise myself not to swear during streaming and videos, but it sometimes just like goes out, right? Whatever. So no for comprehension. I don't care. Also, it's annoying that I was forced to use a covariant type over here, which like all of them should be covariant anyway. All right. So I'm not like 100% happy with how it ended, but it's fine for now. Like one other thing that I really wanted to do was to figure out like this thing. Right, so when we're creating, like, I created this thing where I give it like the open routes and the admin routes, and eventually we're gonna have both of them. But I was sort of hoping that we would solve this problem not on the level of routes. So like these things, like these like make things, right? They give us a controller, right? So it's like an f of a controller of open, right? And so if we go there to like controller, we have like these three versions. And I think what I wanted to try was to do something like this. So usually when you do like ADTs, right, then you have like a you have a sealed trait, right, and then you have like a bunch of case classes or case objects. What I wanted to try was this. So we have a sealed trait controller, and well, actually, I designed it in such a way that we don't, like, the types don't collide. Yeah. So it's not a disjunctive union. So what I'm trying to get at is come on. So what I want to do is I want to have this make thing to just get like a list of controllers, and then it would pattern match on them, figure out, okay, if it's like this one, then well, let's get the open routes. If it's this one, let's get the admin routes. If it's this one, let's get, well, this one is never going to be a question. But the thing is that like a controller might have both the open routes and the admin routes, which is why I named them differently. So it's not a disjunctive union, right? So it can be both. Hold on. I'm just like experimenting a little bit. So how about we have some like routes? And a controller is going to be controller routes with middleware. Middleware is going to need an A. Yeah, so basically like everything points to the fact that like this is not like a real controller. It's like so too different. So let's go something like this. or even that. Let's just try this, okay? So if we go over here and we say, give me controllers, which is a list of controller dot has routes. Then I could have open routes by doing like controllers yeah, pretty much. Won't be able to do that. Okay, so this would be like controllers and then map to open routes. And so I have a list of I have a list of routes. And I'm gonna reduce left all of them to, that was actually a good suggestion. Yeah, that's what I want. So like, is that gonna work? I don't remember what I need to do for this. Probably some implicits. I remember we had issues with this thing because we were not inside of, right, like we're using this in some places. Okay, no, but over here. It has to be this, right? Says it's not a member of HTTP routes of F. Except that it totally is. It should be. I just don't remember where the hell it is. Defined what it needs. What does it need? Don't show me exactly what I want to see. Don't show it. This is HTTP routes of F. We're doing this. HTTP routes of F. So am I inside of just async? Maybe it's middleware. Oh, we don't have cat syntax all. Jeez. There you go. Okay. So something like this. But now calling this is not going to compile. So we can try something like R. Right, so it's going to be either one. Yeah, I think this could work. Okay, so now instead of like doing that, I'm just gonna give it a list of user auth. And it says users auth. All right. Okay, so found the list of open but required as routes. This is what I was like a bit worried about. Like we can try to go with a type here, right? Are you happy about this? Yeah, are you happy about this? No. I don't actually have to unite them, right? Because now I can have a list that is empty. Yeah, problem solved. Right, so we don't need this crap. And we'll just say that this is going to be controller open, right? Open controllers. Admin controllers. Right, like that. There's an issue though, right? So what about the union? Because we might have a controller that has both of them. There's a type called IOR in cats. Maybe it can help us. I don't think it can though. We can have another bucket, but that doesn't scale well. So the problem that I'm trying to solve is like Gabriel did this manually, right? He just like he just put them together himself. And here, right? So he just manually decided which one is which. Also, there's only 3 admin routes. Yeah, so I guess we'll do this on the level of routes instead of on the level of controllers. I wonder if it's better in Scala 3 with union types. Yeah, I think we can do this with IOR. So here's the thing, like here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it on the level of routes, then we're gonna commit it, and then I'm gonna try to redo it with IOR. So basically, like I will say, well, just I really don't want to do this. I don't want to assemble them manually. Oh, whatever. This is essentially what we had before, right? Well, at least I'm gonna say just give it to me in a list, right? So that at least I can do, right? At least I can do that. So the purpose of this rewrite is not to like improve things. Like the purpose of this rewrite is just to see if it's going to compile faster if we rewrite it to this architecture that I coined, you know, the diamond architecture, which basically, like, I don't want to rewrite the actual code, right? Like I'm doing this a little bit for me. Like what we're doing today, I'm doing this a little bit more for me. But the entire series is actually not for me. It's just to test this this architecture, right? So we're trying to get to faster compilation because things can compile in parallel, right? Like all of these things. When is the Scala community gonna move to Scala 3? Well, there are many macro-based libraries, like for example Derival, that is over here. Actually, I'm actually not sure if like Derival specifically already moved or not. But there are many libraries that just haven't moved yet. Not because it's impossible. Like there are a couple of bugs, like in the Scala 3 markers and stuff. No, I wouldn't need the same, because like here's the thing, like in the middle of the rewrite I realized that what we could do is like once I'm gonna finish it, we're not going to compare it directly to what it was before. I mean, we will as well, but we will compare it to exactly the same thing in a single build, right? So when this thing is finished, I'm going to, you know, measure it, and then I'm going to rewrite just the build file. I'm gonna say, okay, let's just put everything in one thing, and let's see essentially if SBT can figure this out for us. And if it can, it means that at least we're getting enforcement, we're getting help by manually telling SBT, okay, this error goes from here to there, and please prevent me from putting things into the wrong place. It's sort of like having a type system, but we'll see. We'll have this conversation later. And so if I was going to rewrite this to Scala 3, this would take like even longer. We're already like in day 14, and we're nowhere near done. So, what's up, Python man? How are you doing? Just wonder whether we should do it here or not here. Probably we should do it here, right? But then we'll lose the type. Probably do this here. That. Oh yeah, you know, my brain is too slow today. I'm doing a bunch of silly things. Um, just like making this thing over here a little bit more pretty. And honestly, I'm not sure we're succeeding. I mean, I kind of like literally like right now, like I wrote the last line that I wanted to write today, which is sort of like fine for me. So when this thing will grow, it's gonna grow like usually I don't configure my Scala FMT like this. So let's see if this will be ruined for me once I've done. Okay. So basically this is how it's gonna grow, right? So let's say that this thing also has the admin routes, then I would put them here, right? So I would go like this, but it doesn't, right? It doesn't have the admin routes. Right. Maybe we can even leave it like this. No, that's ugly. Okay, so this is fine today. The last thing that I just want to try is I just want to go try with this IOR thing. So IOR is a relatively less known data type in cats. It's essentially an inclusive union type or whatever it's called, right? So it's like an either that also has a third version that it can has like both sides. And I just don't know if we can do this. I just don't know if Scala 2 can figure this out, and also I'm not sure if Scala 3 can figure this out, but I think it can. 148. Told you. I didn't even know you could do this. Like I didn't even have time to play around with this thing. All right, so let's just try this, okay? So we'll say controllers, which is going to be, so it's in cats data, right? I believe, right? Nice. Yes, it's a stream elements bot, and if you remind me, like in 5 minutes after I finish this, we can check what else it can do. It's on YouTube. It's an external service called Stream Elements. It's also the one that displays the chat like above my head right now, and it has a bot. So like whenever I go live in a public stream, it connects, and it has like commands and stuff. And I also can create like my own commands. It's just that I never have time to play with this stuff. Okay, so I want the IOR, right? Which metals is not helping. Okay, and I want to say, okay, so either give me like the open routes or the admin routes. And the issue with this is that like it doesn't scale again, right? Because what if we have like open admin and then I don't know, let's say we have some other authorization things. Right, so it doesn't scale, but I just want to try it real quick. I just want to see if the type system will like figure this out for me or not. Okay, so now we're going to construct a tuple and we're going to deconstruct it immediately right into this. Okay, well actually I should not have removed because they're pretty. So I want to go like controllers. Actually, should it be a list? Yeah, so this should be a list, right? So this is a list. Jesus. Okay, so we need to reduce left, right? which means it's going to explode if the list is empty, but right now I don't care. And so now over here we have, interesting. That's close to what I want, but it's not what I want. So I want to have it's not even a reduced left, right? No, hold on. So yeah, so it needs to be a fold left, right? And inside of a fold left, I'm accumulating. Yeah, we're gonna do this in 2 steps. I'm going to accumulate just the list of routes. Okay, like this. And same thing again, like this. That empty. Every time I'm writing a fold left, I'm starting with lists, and then like 2 seconds later, I'm realizing that we should be using a vector. In any case, so these are going to be the open routes, and these are going to be the admin routes. Maybe we should do it like this. I'm gonna do routes. Okay, and this is going to be, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, this is actually very close to what I wanted to do. So now we're going to fold, and it has like 3 things. So I don't remember in which order they are, but okay, so I guess it's left, right, both. I won't be able to do this. Like, this is the problem. Like, I won't be able to have this third one. Maybe I can't. Oh, I think I can by passing it twice. Okay, so yeah, so if it's an open route, right, then yeah, well, like this is very, very close to what I wanted. So this is going to be like the open routes, and this is going to be the admin route, right? So over here, this is just routes. Here as well, and here's okay. And if it's both, which is like OR AR, well then open routes gets yes. Which by the way reminds me that this should be a vector and vector. Open routes and no, like so this, right, and these are A routes. Okay, so now we assembled all of them together, and we need to do this here as well. Right, so these are the open routes. The admin routes will stay untouched. And these are the, like the open routes will stay untouched. And then we have the A route. Like this. Okay, so now this thing, this is like open routes list and admin routes list. And now we're gonna do this. Yes, this is correct. So this is a F. Same thing. First try. Okay, So, and by the way, like Gaston, if you're still here, like if you're, remember your question about like Scala and Golang and type systems, like in like the types led me through this whole thing, and like it basically compiled like on the first try, right? I forgot that I need an F here, right? But this was just like an annotation problem, not that I like messed up the types. So this is what you get, right? It just said like, how do I teach the program now? Like this thing is gonna be tricky, right? So like right now, I can just say that this is IOR left or whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't need to do this thing now. Okay, so this is like import like cats.data. So basically I'm saying, okay, like this thing only has like the open routes. But if it did have like the admin routes, right? Like this thing is a controller dot open. Let's say that like somewhere over like even here, okay? Okay. So let's say that over here we had a thingy which was a controller.open with controller.admin, right? Equals, I don't know, something. Yeah, whatever, let's make it a def. This is not what it is, okay? And then I would want to do IOR.both, right? And because it's both, I need to give it like the open routes and the admin routes. And what I should be able to do is thing it twice. Yes, I was right. All right, because this is effectively a union type, right? So it's open or admin. So it has both routes. And so when it's gonna end up over here, even though it's the same thing, like the open routes are gonna go here and the admin routes are gonna go there. And now the question is, what is better? I think this is kind of like better, but it's a little bit too advanced, I think. And like somehow like the juice is not worth the squeeze. Right, so let's have a look at this. Right, so this is not very different, right? So like if you know that it's an open route, actually I'm realizing like what I wanted in the beginning was to give it like both. Why can't I figure this out? Like I wanna yeah, it's not my expression. It's a known expression, isn't it? Like I didn't invent this. Yeah, there you go. The expected result is or is not worth the effort. Yeah. So it's not mine. I heard it somewhere. So like what's happening in my head right now is that with both encodings, I have to say which one is it, right? So over here, I have to say manually open routes, but over here, I have to manually wrap it into the left, right? So it doesn't change anything, pretty much, right? And over here, like, we just added code. We just added a bunch of code, right? So like, look, like everything is green. And we just removed like these 2 lines, but we added like way more code for no reason, right? So this was a nice experiment. I'm still thinking about union types, you know? But technically it's not union types. Like, this is the problem. I need... Can be either left or right or both. This is a union type, isn't it? Because intersection types is what gives me both. Yeah, it's a union type. So why was it so hard for me to say... Let me try one last, like, it doesn't like leave my brain, you know? So I should have been able to do this, right? Give me like the open controllers. Yeah, open with controller.admin. I should have been able to do this. But then how would I convince, like, but then I couldn't like pass it in, right? I'm really curious if this is better in Scala 3. Scala 3 can figure this out somehow, but I'm not sure, right? Because now, like, if I go like map, like open routes, right? And over here I go admin, right? Like this. Well, yeah, just like that. Oh no, I should have had a list of those, right? But how do I pass it in? Right, like how do I tell it that it's not, you know, that it could be only like half of it? Because with is an intersection type. That's the like, I really think that Scala 3 could figure this out. Because with is an intersection type. Isn't it? It is, right? Hold on. Yeah. So it's like a similar thing, right? Like it would have... Zoomed in. I wanted to stream for less than 2 hours today. always the same. So like we have resettable, we have grow, so we have two traits, and we say, okay, give us both, give me both, so that I can call like these two methods, right? So this is an intersection, and it's sort of what I have, right? So I either have like the open routes or the admin routes, but I also want to be able to say, give me only one. Right? And for that, I need the union types, not the intersection type. Because this one always needs to have both of them. This is like a with, essentially, right? Like I'm sure that something here says that it's like essentially with. No? Okay, and the union types. Okay, so the union types would force me to pattern match. Yeah, and so basically, yeah, so this is what you have, right? So this is like an either, but it can also, I don't remember how it's called, but it can also encode the fact that it's both of them. And so I needed to like manually use I or because we don't have union types in Scala 2. Yeah. All right. So we're happy with how it is. We're gonna push it. We're gonna give it a quick look. Yeah. This thing got longer somehow. All right, so it's fine. So we're done with the code stuff. Let's go have a look at that thing. Stream elements. You still here, man? Python man? Pylang man? This one. Chatbot. There you go. Chat commands. Okay, so we can do like this to see the commands. Okay, so it's just gonna point us to this. But still, let's try. Let's play with this a little bit. Commands. All right. So let me copy this link address and I'm gonna open it like here. What? Yeah. Oh wow. Pretty full. Oh, there's some points. Okay, uptime. So you hit that one. Cues. Okay, so that's probably for like music and stuff. Okay, hold on. Okay, look, I think we can enable like fun stuff. Okay. Whatever that means. So let's go try with this 8-ball, right? Does it do something? Okay. So we need to like go like a yes or no question. Is it cold outside? Okay, so I guess it's gonna answer something. Show a random quote. Like what? Okay, there's like some tip and stuff and blah. By the way, you guys, you can't tip me as of right now because I'm still in like my YouTube business still runs through Georgia and it's not available there. It's soon it's gonna run through Brazil and stuff, and then everything is gonna be available. Song. Yeah, so it seems like this whole thing is boring. Oh, there's custom comments. So we could add a new command. What just happened? What? Points. What points? It's probably for like Twitch and stuff. How do you even get? I think there are like games in here and stuff. Anyway, I don't want to do this now. Anyway, I'm gonna go. It's getting late. Been trying to get to bed earlier since like forever. So anyway, have you guys seen the video that came out today about the how to sound better on camera and stuff? I think you're the only one here, but I can never trust like what YouTube shows. Anyway, I really need to go. My brain is dead today anyway. Oh, you did. Oh yeah, you did. You wrote the comment. I'm glad you liked it. I'm really like done for today. Oh yeah, so you guys are still here. Like here's the thing, like YouTube says that there's only one of you, but like it's clearly more than one of you here. Now it even says that it's like 0. You know, it says that like nobody's here, but like 2 of you are here. Yeah. Anyway, I really need to go. I'm like freaking dying here. Thanks for showing up, and I don't know if we're gonna do this on Wednesday. Like I feel like I need a break from streaming. Also next week, like next week I'm on support, and I know they changed everything. I was about to say that I would stream at mornings, but no, I'm not. So yeah, forget what I was about to say. Anyway, thanks for showing up. I see you hopefully on Wednesday, if not, and then on Friday, and if not, then next Monday. Yeah, thanks, man. All right.